The distinction of psoriasis as a rash from leprosy took quite some time, and in the 17th century there was a distinction which was referred to still as leprosy, and gradually leprosa psoriae began to be distinguished from leprosy itself. But the condition was properly described by Dr. Willens, who was working at St. Thomas's Hospital, where I also work, not at the same time as Dr. Willens, because he described it way back in the 19th century. Well, having dispensed with my first slide, the next slide relates to the definition of psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis, to be more precise. And definitions are important if you're conducting clinical trials, but they can also reflect changing attitudes about the concept of diseases. It's happened with spondyloarthritis, it's happened with rheumatoid arthritis, and more recently, it's happened with psoriatic arthritis. So the idea that psoriasis and its associated arthritis are linked to a number of different patterns we've accepted for a long, long time, and the notion that these were the patterns, the only patterns, has been dispelled somewhat latterly. So you all recognize that you can have a polyarthritis that resembles rheumatoid arthritis, in which distal interphalangeal joints in particular make it slightly different from rheumatoid arthritis, but it can look exactly like rheumatoid arthritis. You see what I mean? It can masquerade as a number of different diseases. Oligoarthritis, that is, with a few joints, can look so much like reactive arthritis. And then there's a polyarthritis without distal interphalangeal joint involvement, and then spinal involvement, which I'll dwell on, which may or may not involve involvement of the sacroiliac joints. But the group that looks after definitions in spondylitis have actually incorporated psoriatic arthritis as just one more manifestation of spondyloarthritis, but it really isn't that simple. Arthritis mutilans may, in fact, be this or this, but it is interesting how psoriatic arthritis may evolve into a disease that causes destruction of bones and deformities of multiple joints, but especially the hands. Definitions have usually emphasized the presence of psoriasis and the absence of rheumatoid factor. Well, this is an update. You see now that there's an acceptance that anyone with musculoskeletal pain, or at least an acceptance of the suspicion that a patient with psoriasis, or a family history of psoriasis, or past history of psoriasis, who has any musculoskeletal pain may actually have psoriatic arthritis with this rather broader definition. I haven't mentioned dactylitis. Some patients have just a single finger or toe, a sausage toe or a sausage finger, and that's all. There may be any one of the other patterns that I've already referred to. But this idea that enthesitis is an important part of the picture helps us to understand why so many patients with psoriasis present to rheumatologists with pain, a lot of pain, but they have no evidence of arthritis. This is the Caspar definition. Now, I said definitions are essential if you're conducting clinical trials. Take you quickly through that. Again, rash,